But guys, you know who else isn't celebrating very much anymore is Selena Gomez. She put out a very ill-timed video of her crying about her quote-unquote people being deported. And
the children.
Yes, it quickly went viral all across the internet. And what's interesting is that the backlash to this has been that she's lost over 800,000 Instagram followers. Now, one thing to note about Selena Gomez is that she has 422 million followers on Instagram.
I can't help but notice where you paused on the screen.
But basically, she's the most followed woman on that platform, and she may lose close to 1 million followers over in just the last 30 days because of her crying. And what was interesting about her video is that basically the timing of it is that they're going around deporting criminals, rapists, murderers, all these people who are here illegally who have been committing crimes. And she's out there trying to defend them, trying to keep them from being deported. She's crying. In fact, a lot of the mothers of women, American citizens who've been murdered and raped by illegal immigrants did their own crying videos calling her out for like, where were these tears when my daughter was victimized, you know? And
so brutal.
Children.
Yeah.
Let's be real, she's crying because she had to find new help.
The children. I thought this was going to work the way it used to work.
But the whole thing here is like she's claiming that it's her people. She's not Mexican. She's American. She was born here. She grew up in a life of privilege. She was a Disney star, very early on, Disney child star. She's never had to work a manual job in her life. And basically, she has now deleted the video. And she said that, or I should say her representatives are saying that she's worried that it could alienate Republican fans of her beauty brand, that she was like so outspoken about this. And she also came out and said that crying made her look weak and she needs to be stronger for like her principles. So there's a lot of backpedaling for this, this yet another example of a celebrity basically being poo-pooed on for like a really bad take. But Alex, I want to throw this to you to start with, because you sent me a video this morning of comedian Joey Diaz addressing this directly. I want to play the video for everyone on the panel and our chat, and then get your take on it, right?
Remember, folks, the fascinating thing about this escapade with Selena, not a single celebrity came to her aid that I'm aware of. Nobody. Silence. Crickets in Hollywood, which tells you that the backbones are gone. The principles no more. The marching orders were not given to go on defense.
All right. Tell me if you guys can hear this.
It's not going to wake up to Selena Gomez crying. What the is wrong with that little Mexican? Oh, my God. These California people. Why are you crying? If you like the Mexicans so much, get on the bus. Tell Trump to pick you up. I'm over here sweating bullets. You don't see me walking the last couple of days. My last name is Diaz. You might make a mistake, and I'm calling you collect from Colombia. In truth.
Selena Gomez faced criticism for crying on Instagram Live about.
That's enough. That's enough. That's the end of it.
You know, if he cursed less, that would be a much more shareable clip. But I could barely hear what he's saying because I got bleeped out.
There's clips of him where it's not bleeped out. I don't know why that YouTuber bleeped all the stuff out, but it's much funnier.
That's why neither I nor Tom Connors never curse.
That's not true.
I couldn't even come back with anything on that one. Like
fact checkers say that's not true.
Like a deer caught in headlights going.
Like, have you? I've been with Tom curses.
I'm sorry. Is that Fred Rogers down there in the bottom middle? Is that Fred Rogers? Hi, Fred.
Well, Alex, what's your take on Joey Diaz's take on Selena Gomez?
I think he's echoing exactly what probably the majority of people are thinking. Like, what are you crying for? Are you that upset about criminals leaving the country? Like, go with them then. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say it any better than Joey Diaz did right there, and that was freaking funny as hell. So yeah, I'm just gonna say the same thing. Like, what is she crying for? She's got no reason to cry. It's just like this. Oh, she missed the memo where they were like, hey, it's not cool to be like super against Trump anymore. Don't do that. It's a bad business decision.
Yes. Speaking of which, Dubs, the big thing here is that she deleted the post because she was afraid it would alienate customers of her brand, of her beauty brand, who are in favor of deporting illegal criminals from the country. What does that say about her principles?
Can you say that ship has sailed, Miss Gomez?
And I was confused. I thought she was apologizing for Amelia Perez.
Here's the deal. Rasmussen put out a poll on this. It's like mid 60s, upper 60% of Americans are in full support of the deportations right now because they're deporting these awful, terrible, violent people that we've
Criminals.
Right, criminals. And so the vast majority of Americans, like a super majority, are in favor of this. So when Selena did this, and probably some publicists said, hey, you got to cry. We're going to record it. It'll look good. It'll get you lots of buzz. It's going to be great. We'll go trending. And she did it. And the response was not the way that she hoped that it would be. We went into Bud Light territory. And so then she said, all right, how do we fix it? And the publicist said, okay, you got to be the victim. We got to victimize you quick. So then she came out and said, it's not okay to show empathy anymore. Oh, no. But actions with celebrities always speak louder than words. And what we've seen is they're running from this idea that she doesn't need to cry because she needs to be strong. Like, I'm sorry, Genie is out of the bottle. It's going to take you. That's like Will Smith saying that he needs to stop slapping people because he's going to be remembered poorly. Too late, my friend. Too late.
Fuck baby, did put a chicken in, make her gay.
Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So like, this is just a long line of celebrities doing very cringe videos. Like you have all the celebrities singing like,
Imagine
during COVID. You had
Imagine there's no afterlife. Yeah. Your relatives are dead.
You had the Avengers, coming out down with democracy.
Down with
democracy. And now you have Selena Gomez, and a lot of people in the comments of that now deleted post were saying, like, if I was really that emotional and crying, the last thing I would do is take out my camera and record myself, feeling these emotions. And so
it's
felt
this
very
leftist thing, dude. Like, if you look at most of social media over the past couple of years, especially since 2016 when Trump got elected, like leftists, these hardcore leftist people, they love to record themselves just blubbering like idiots online for like weird sympathy points or something, or like, look how devastated I. It's so crazy.
You can see yourself crying.
Brian, let me read you this quote from the Yahoo News article. It basically says, Selena thought she was being authentic and helpful with her video, but in retrospect, she realizes that it could have been more powerful without the tears. The tears showed weakness, and that is not what she intended. She is very passionate after seeing critics calling for her to help by donating some of her millions to enrich the lives of immigrants in their home countries. She realized that she could never win. What's your take on that?
That's interesting. Yeah. You know what? If the people that are so passionate about taking care of illegal immigrants, a lot of them have a lot of money. So get down there and put some of that to use. The rest of us don't. And it shouldn't be our job to bear that cross. Now, there are immigrants that just want a better life. I get it. I understand. I would try to do the same thing. But there are also a lot of immigrants that are just straight up criminals, violent, drug dealers, drug addicts, bad hombres. So I think that Selena Gomez, when she gets on there and starts crying, it's because she is buying the hype that, like Brett said in the chat, that they're deporting babies and unicorns. And she doesn't understand that they're literally rounding up people with criminal records that were released from prison recently or jail. These are not good hombres. These are the bad hombres. And maybe they do get to the good hombres at some point. That's entirely possible. But they broke the law when they came in here. And while my heart goes out to people that just want a better life, we have to secure our borders, and you have to come in the right way, even if the right way is hard. That's the way. That's the name of the game. And I'm sorry you were born in that country. I'm sorry that you have that bad life. That's your cross to bear. You got to figure it out. I have my cross to bear. Matt has his cross to bear. it's no one's job to bear your cross for you, and the American people who are also struggling in their own right should not have to bear that cross. So what they're doing with the deportations is a good thing. We need to secure our borders. We need to deport criminals. I hope that we don't get to the point where the media is reporting on like ICE, ripping babies out of mothers' arms and crazy stuff like that. But ultimately, this is a good thing for the country. And I think Selena Gomez was just lied to. I think she's buying the lie, and she honestly believes that her people, which, by the way, you're completely right. She's a Disney star. She's maybe Mexican by heritage, but she's an American.
Yeah, her people are like Justin Timberlake.
Right, Justin Timberlake. Right. The thing is, though, she's probably buying the lie.
You can deport him, right? Can we deport him?
That ICE is going into schools and pulling kids out of classes and like
she can't even speak Spanish. She doesn't know Spanish.
Dragging him to the border and kicking him over like they're footballs or something. It's not what's happening. What's happening is they're deporting criminals. So you're crying for criminals.
Scanning for Selena Gomez. Scanning for Selena Gomez.
Tom, we talked a lot about in the show about the death of the celebrity and how celebrities just don't have the cachet that they used to have, especially after this last election where you had so many celebrities trying to use their cachet. Yeah. So you had this last election where a lot of celebrities tried to move the needle for Kamala Harris, and they came off as inauthentic and it fell flat. And I think that this is another example where you have Selena Gomez, who's not really a great actress or anything like that, but she does have a huge social media following, which to Hollywood is oftentimes more important than actual star power nowadays. But the idea that she tried to basically leverage her fame and renown, and it just completely backfired on her, I think is just more evidence that celebrity culture is slowly dying in Hollywood. What's your take on that?
Selena arguably is probably one of the last that you could say is probably a well-known actress / star, or whatever you want to call it. But that's just because she grew up in front of all of us on television. Now, that being said, yeah, I think we're at an impasse here. I think Hollywood has figured it out. I think the media is slowly coming around to figuring it out. The actors and some of the other activists and people that are just so bought into this religious aspect of the woke are never going to change. I feel like there may be some change here, because I was thinking the Oscars were going to be one big, final re-woke fest. But it's almost like they're trying to cancel the actress, and I don't know if we're going to get into this at all, before they even get to the ceremony. So, so not going to get too deep into that, but we're at this point now where it's almost like they're starting to wake up. The woke are waking up, and they're realizing that, we don't have any movie stars left. We destroyed the movie star, because that's kind of what Hollywood was built on, is you had this idea that you had people that the masses would like to go see do stuff like John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, even, like Julia Roberts or whoever you want to throw in there, all throughout our lifetime, the span of hundreds of years or 100 years of movies. And now we're at this point where name me one movie star that hasn't been around for more than 20 years now. Even she is one of those that you can say, yeah, she's been around for about 20 years. There's not many. Timothy Chalamet is probably one of the closest. Glenn Powell is getting there. Sydney Sweeney's kind of getting there, but we have yet to see them actually do anything box office wise to say, yeah, that person's a draw.
Sydney Sweeney's super popular, but she's not. You're not going to go. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that, but because I probably would. But you haven't seen too many movies where it's like, oh, that's a Sydney Sweeney movie.
Exactly.
I'm going to go watch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would totally do that, though.
I'm going to put something out there and here, listen to me straight with this, okay? What about the combo of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo? Because I think people want to see them on press tours more often because of how ridiculous they were.
Yeah, great TV
It was
show.
like watching Nosferatu and Lily Rose run around on the fucking press junkets. Are you serious?
Seriously, that was so creepy. They were both hypnotized or some weird.
So weird. Creepy, I want to throw this to Odin because
I am the greatest actor of all times.
And then you have her just all up on there. Yes, you are, baby. Yes, you are.
Well, Odin, the timing of this is interesting because, the movie that Selena Gomez is in, Emilia Perez, got nominated for 13 Oscars. There's a lot of controversy surrounding it. There's a lot of buzz surrounding it. Netflix is really putting a lot of money trying to push for it to win these Oscars. And we're going to get into this a little bit more in our next segment. But, Selena Gomez kind of coming out and getting this bad publicity could negatively affect Emilia Perez's chances, despite all the, virtue signaling on that stuff, in addition to the controversy that's already surrounding the movie. So what do you think about the timing of this? Do you think that Selena Gomez might have actually hurt the movie that she's starring in?
It's hard to say, because I think that you look at the limited box office information that we have for the international release of the movie. You also look at the streaming numbers, or at least the perceived streaming numbers for it. No one's seeing this movie. No one had even heard of this film before. So I actually think that she's actually probably getting more eyes on the film because of it versus anything else. There's that old adage of any type of publicity is good publicity. And we know that obviously that's not always 100% true. But in this case, because so few people were actually watching this film, and how much traction her video ended up getting, I think more people would be more likely to say, let me watch this train wreck tonight. Because there are people that do that, right? They're like, hey, I've heard that this movie is terrible and that girl's in it. I want to see her in that train wreck. I want to see her do terrible once again. So you know what? She may have actually helped the numbers of this movie, if anything else.
Bad movie nights is a staple
Exactly.
at Kadish's house. Let's go watch this terrible freaking movie. Get drunk and laugh at the ridiculousness of it all.